Hello, you lovely internet people. With people finally starting to get their Rift headsets in from their pre-orders, I think it's about time to talk about the HTC Vive versus the Oculus Rift. Let's get into it. Now, the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift and the whole VR community as a whole is like this small. It's a pretty dang niche market. There isn't anything like the token VR game. There isn't a huge online community of all those people that are like, oh yeah, VR, VR, VR. And the people that are there that are huge on VR and everything, it's so dang niche. Nobody cares about VR currently because it's too dang expensive. Nobody wants VR because it's too dang expensive and there are no titles on it, so it's a vicious cycle where there are no titles. And since there are no titles, no developers want to develop for it. I mean, since there are no players, no developers want to develop for the thing, so that's where the cycle continues. And then there's that whole thing of a small VR community, but we're not going to talk about the small VR community. We're going to talk about the headset versus the other headset in objective terms. We're not going to talk too subjectively. Actually, there will be some subjection stuff, but here we go. In terms of sales, the HTC Vive is clearly winning. They've already got their shipping problems together. They're guaranteeing 2 to 3 day shipping already, while Oculus is kind of like, meh, still getting those pre-orders in. Yeah, but you can buy them from Best Buy with these bundles. That's the dumbest thing they could have ever done, but still, that is where the Rift is right now in terms of trying to get their stock out and everything. The HTC has 100,000 plus copies sold, not copies sold, headsets sold. But that's still not that much, so it's gotta, maybe the Rift can still catch up with pricing concerns. But we also have to think about the fact that reviewers are finally starting to get their pre-orders of the Rift in, and a lot of them are coming to the conclusion that because the Oculus Rift does not have its touch controllers currently, it is just the more sour experience compared to the Vive. The Vive having its touch controllers already released and having the room scaling makes it so much more immersive and all of that kind of stuff, whereas using a controller, I don't have my controller on me right now, but using a controller while in VR can be kind of jarring. But that's only from their perspective, not to mention they started out using the Vive, so you have to note that they started with the Vive when reviewing, so they were already used to the Vive, meaning that when they tried the Oculus Rift, they weren't ready for that kind of thing, if I'm explaining this correctly. So, with that in mind, you have to take that note with a grain of salt. If they had started with the Rift, would their review be different? Yes, I think it would be different, but it would also change their Vive review and perhaps make them praise the Vive even more for already having their touch controllers and saying how much more immersive it was compared to the Rift. Whereas the Rift comes out after the Vive, so it makes the Rift seem worse in comparison because the Vive was already released and already had all their crap together. So if Oculus had not had the problems with shipping and whatnot, I believe that their sales would be much better than they are as of now. But because of all the problems is why the shift has gone over to the Vive. Pay the extra $200, get the Vive, get the room scale, get all that stuff, and bam, you got yourself the best dang VR experience. So in the end, I would say that because of Oculus not having their touch controllers and not having an as immersive experience with their headset, because of that fact, you should go with a Vive, likely, but at the same time, the VR market is so small that it doesn't really matter right now because you can't afford it anyway. So, yeah, that's where I am at VR right now. Get yourself a Gear VR. But then again, if you can pay for a Gear VR plus a S7, you should probably just get a Vive and then go from there. But you're probably on contract, so okay, forget it. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Leave a comment letting me know why you like or dislike respectively. And above all, don't forget to subscribe for more content. Maybe like this, maybe not like this. And still bad at outros. What's something I can bring up? I drank some Arizona. And also some more Arizona. Because there was a 2-for-1 sale at CVS. Bam. Bye.